Hey everyone, so I wanted to do a quick update kind of a video with you guys. I've been getting a lot of questions about a lot of things, so I kind of wanted to break it down a little bit and give you guys like kind of an update. It's not so much for like you guys that have been following me for a while, but it's more so for the new subscribers that just came onto my channel and they have a lot of questions. So I kind of wanted to break it down a little bit for y'all about what's going on, and excuse the background and all the stuff that's going on in the background and my hair. First I wanted to talk about is school. I'm actually done with the one semester that I was in. I was done with that. I passed all my classes. I ended up getting 2 B's and an A in my class, and I believe my GPA was like 3.4 and over the numbers. Oh no. And I really don't feel like searching for the information. I was done with that, and then I had like about a month of break, and I started my classes. I thought I was supposed to start my classes tomorrow, but apparently I've been starting my classes like yesterday, but they're online classes and my assignments are not due until Saturday, so I'm not stressed about it. I started my classes for the summer courses, which is 3 more classes. I'm taking a math, a science, and a computer class. The math and the science, I'm doing online classes because I pretty much feel like the math class was pretty like simple or whatever when I was doing classes last semester, and the computer class I already took at a previous college, but they didn't give me the credit for it. So sorry, I keep looking at the viewfinder because I feel like the back of my house is a hot mess, and it's summertime, kids are here, and you may not hear them because they're preoccupied with other things, but yeah. So I let me move some stuff out of the way. So yeah, I already took the computer class at another college, and I aced that class with an A, and so I figured since I already did that class, that computer class online before, I can do it again at the school. It's not a big deal. So yeah, those are the 3 classes I'm taking. I only have 1 class on campus, which is the college class. I can't even talk today. Which is sorry for the lighting to keep going out. Which is the science class because I have to do a lab, and I had the option to do an online class for that, but then I would have had to pay for like the lab work and all that, and I wasn't trying to deal with that. So instead, it's already at the campus, so I figured it'd just be easier to just go to the campus and do the lab work there instead of having to do it at home, because with the kids and everything and the baby, I didn't want to take a chance of anything going wrong. I just went and got my books. Well, I only got 1 book. You guys probably won't see that vlog until a little bit later, but it ended up looking like that my science class was an online book, like an e-book or something like that, and then my computer class also had an ebook, so I only had to pay for 1 book, which was my math book, and that made it so that it was a lot cheaper when it comes to books, so I didn't really have to spend a whole lot on books. Thank you, Jesus. So that was easy because, you know, I didn't want to take the chance, because right now I'm just dealing with financial aid. I don't get the government is not paying for, like, the government public assistance is not paying for me to go to school, for us to be in this house. They're not paying for us to go to school, for me to go to school, so I'm solely relying on financial aid to pay for my schooling, so that way whatever comes out of that is what I have. And so pretty much my financial aid is covering my classes and my books, and that's it. So like I don't get anything else after that, and I barely just made the amount that I needed. So yeah, that's what's going on with the whole update with school. And then I also wanted to update you guys on the whole CPS situation with Journey, and the whole lie that he said about Leon hitting him. And I received a call, and he told me that, you know, they were going to close the case based off of the so-called injury on his face. It didn't coincide with getting smacked in his face, because that's what he told them. He told them that Leon smacked him, but it didn't look like he got smacked. And then when they talked to Leon and then they talked to all the kids, it didn't look like there was any kind of form of abuse going on in the home. The kids didn't come off like they were abused or being like neglected or anything like that. So they closed the case. 2 weeks later, I received a letter in the mail stating that it was closed, and then about another 2 weeks later, I received a letter from the state stating that the case was unfounded and it was closed. So I ain't gotta worry about that. That was the end of that. Because I know a lot of people were wondering what happened with that case. Did anything else come from it or anything like that? And no, it was closed. There's nothing else to worry about that. And now I wanted to update you guys about Leon and his situation. I didn't really go into too much details about it because we're still like, it's still a progress. Especially with his health and with him going back to work and everything like that. It's a progress because, you know, we don't want to do too much for him. I personally don't want him to go back to work, but it was like a huge blow up between me and him. We had like kind of like an argument about it, and the end decision was for him to want to go back to work. He wanted to go back to work and not continue to pursue disability. And as much as I don't like that idea, he is a grown man, and you know, he has to make his own choices. He does have like his own goals and everything like that. So, you know, I had to like release the control in that situation and allow him to do what he wanted to do. And so, you know, he was going through the process with an agency that helps people with disabilities find employment, and it's kind of a slow process because the issue that we're dealing with Leon is the fact that he was a supervisor for over 5 years, and so there's not that many jobs in this area that offer supervisor positions for the amount that he was making prior. I don't have a problem telling you guys, and I don't think Leon really gives a shit, but when he was working prior to his health, you know, declining or whatever, he was making anywhere between 18 and over. And when I say 18 and over, it depended on the project that he was working on. So if like he was just doing basic like a house job, he was making about like 18. But if he was working for the state or for a school or for like a big nonprofit organization, like something huge, he can make up to like $80 an hour. So and then mind you, he was titled as a supervisor, so it's kind of hard to see where he could fit and the experience that he has, and then at the same time find something that will match what he was earning before, if that makes sense. And I know a lot of you guys are probably going to say, doesn't really matter, he should just get a job anywhere or whatever. He's tried, and he's went to a lot of job fairs, and a lot of them have told him, we're sorry, you know, we don't have anything for you. He's went to temp agencies, and they all have said the same thing. They don't have anything for him. So the agency that is working with him, they basically take him out on what they did was they was taking him out on trials to see what his level of capacity that he was able to handle, and then they were able to find something for him, but it's not like a full-time employment, if that makes sense. It's more so like, I don't even, like, you can't even call it part-time, but I guess like legally by terms, like, you would say it's part-time because it's not that many hours during a week, which is why you guys probably see him a lot in the vlogs during the daytime and stuff like that. And that's because, you know, it has to be a slow progress. And that also brings me to like his, you know, medical situation with the doctors and everything. And he's seen the doctors, and they've been changing his medications. They've been doing a lot of blood work for him to see how his body's handling the medication. He sees the specialist, and he sees two specialists. He sees one in July, and then he sees another one all the way in September. So it's like, it's a work in progress, and the doctor doesn't really want him to do a whole lot of manual labor. And that's kind of like the goal right now for him, is to eliminate the manual labor, because when he was working doing lead and asbestos removal, he was doing manual labor, and physically he can't do manual labor anymore. So we're trying to like find something for him to do that's not manual labor. And I see the comments, you know, some people say, well, he could just get a job at call center again. Call centers won't hire him. Nobody will hire him unless he's working as a supervisor. And mind you, like, Leon's the kind of guy that will beg. He doesn't give a shit. Like, he has no pride. He will beg somebody to give him the opportunity to work, and people are just like, no. Like, I'm sorry, dude, you can't work. You have too much experience to work as a basic employee. Basically, the only kind of job that he can do is a supervisor or a management position. And it's kind of frustrating, you know. I can understand the frustration for him, but at the same time, you know, I see a huge self-esteem boost in him since he has made the decision to go back to work. I get what a lot of people are saying, well, just go get any kind of job, but it doesn't work like that in the real world. I'm sorry to say, it doesn't work like that in the real world, especially when you have tons of experience and you've already worked your way up to a certain point. So when companies look at you and they read your resume and they're just like, no, it's not gonna work. The only way that you're gonna work for us is if you take my job. That's basically how people are looking at it. Like the recruitment, or you know, the hiring company person that's in the company. Basically, they're just saying, you know, the only way you can work for us is if you take my job, and they ain't trying to give up their job. So so that's pretty much where we're at right now when it comes to that. And then same with his health. Like, it's all a process, and it's a slow process, but you know, I'll say it's better than where we were at this time last year. If you've been following me for that long, then you guys know the whole journey that we've been through. I will say that it's a lot better progress than where we were at last year. So, and even 6 months ago when we first moved in this house. So I'm going to take what I can get. And another update I guess I can give you guys is that the kids are going to be going to summer camp. The place that got us the house, they told us that they had funding to be able to pay for the kids to go to summer camp, so we were able to get them into a summer camp that's private. I believe it's a private owned summer camp. I have no idea. They're the ones that set it up. All we had to do was just go down there and sign them up, and that's what we pretty much did. And so they start next week. Tomorrow we have orientation for them. I have my science class tomorrow, so after my science class we're gonna go to the orientation for the kids for summer camp, which I've never heard before. I think it's just this camp that does orientation, or maybe I could be wrong. You moms, let me know in the comments if this is just a normal thing to have orientation for summer camp. I don't know, but we were able to get all 4 kids registered for summer camp. Thank you, Jesus, because I did not want this kid, I'm talking about the oldest, did not want this kid to be in the house getting on my nerves. So yeah, all 4 kids will be going to summer camp. The only one that won't be going to summer camp is, of course, the baby. And I tried looking for like dance classes and stuff like that for her, and I couldn't find anything. Most of the dance classes that they had available were for like 3 and up. I did want to update a little bit on the welfare situation. I know I don't really have to because it's really nobody's business, but I really don't have to update with you guys, but I know it's probably helpful for me to share what is going on in my life with other people that are going through something similar, or probably are curious to know what's going on. Some people were kind of confused about it, and they were curious to know, like, how is it that one month you're spending this amount and the next month you're spending this amount, and then this month. And so I kind of wanted to break it down. A couple months back I explained to you guys that, you know, I was able to file like with welfare as self-employed. I had to actually fill out a form that was a declaration of self-employment. That's what the form was called. And the requirement is that I have to submit my income every single month. And the way welfare works is that whatever you made one month, the following month, they base your benefits based off of that income from the previous month. So like we're in June, so my income from May will affect my benefits for June. So what I made in June is not going to be the same amount of what I made in July. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So like every month by the 15th, I have to submit my income, and that's usually about the time that YouTube and the other networks and all my clients pay me, and that's when I'm able to actually like configure how much I've earned for that month. And then I submit it to welfare, and then at the end of the month I usually get a notice stating how much my benefits are going to change for the next month. And that's usually how it works for me. I don't know how it is in other states. I don't know how it is in other counties, because here in Pennsylvania it's all based on your county. It's not based off of just the state itself. So I don't know how it might work for you guys, but for me that's how it works. And then every month I'm supposed to meet with my student advisor. I'm required to do 35 hours a week. So with that, how they calculate the hours, what they do is they divide it by the minimum wage. In Pennsylvania's state minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. So we divide my income for that month, and then they divide it, and then that's basically what I get for that whole month based off of that income is what my hours are for the month. And then depending on how many hours that is, I can use those hours towards the hours that I've done with like business and with YouTube and all that. I can count that towards the hours that I'm required with welfare in order to receive my benefit. Because I go to school, I'm able to use the hours that I'm in class towards those hours as well, and then that's how they work it out. And then I can also make up hours by volunteering. Sometimes I volunteer on campus, and that way I don't have to what's the word? I don't have to get a job. Pretty much. I don't have to get a job. So yeah, I don't have to basically I just don't have to work a regular job for somebody else, if that makes sense. I know some people are probably like, go get a job, but no, I don't see the point of getting a job. Me and Leon were actually having this conversation, and I was telling him that, you know, with how things are going lately with myself, and like how things are going with YouTube and these little businesses that I have on the side, I probably won't go back to work. I probably will continue to work for myself. I don't see the point in it. The degree helps in a sense to where, like, if it doesn't work out in that aspect, those things don't work out, I can always fall back on my degree and actually get a job. But I don't see that ever happening. Social media is growing spontaneously every single day, and companies and brands are growing their budget for social media marketing every single day. So I don't see this kind of work ever disappearing anytime soon. And yeah, I don't see it ever happening. And yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is that if you know how to monetize your following, you'll be fine. And when I say that, because you can have 2 million subscribers and it won't mean jack shit, and you can have 100 subscribers and it'll mean everything. So it just depends on how you brand yourself and how well you know your audience, if that makes sense, or who you're trying to reach out or who you're trying to get to. So yeah, yeah, I don't see myself, once I get my degree, I don't see myself actually getting a job. And if I do, it would have to be something that I'm comfortable with or something that I'm passionate with, which will probably be like something nonprofit. But to go work 9 to 5 at a job, I don't see myself doing that. I've never seen myself doing that since I was 5, so I don't see the point of even going in that direction. So yeah, I know a lot of people are kind of confused about like my whole food stamp hauls and everything like that, and why the amounts were always different, and that's why, because, you know, one month I can make a good chunk of money and they only giving me $300 in food stamps, and then the next month I only get a little chunk of money, and then I'm kind of screwed. That's the only thing that sucks about welfare, is like that whole situation. Okay, example, this month I got a little bit more in food stamps because last month I didn't make as much, But then, you know, if I make more money this month, next month my food stamps is less, and then if I end up going low on the amount that I earned in my businesses and stuff like that, it kind of hurts me more than it helps me, if that makes sense, because I can't catch up. I don't know how to explain that. Like, I can't get ahead, if that, yeah, that's the word I'm trying to say. I can't get ahead. I can't get myself ahead to where I'm able to be like, okay, well, this is going to be consistent every month, so therefore I'm able to do this and this and this. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to be able to get ahead into a way where I don't have to stress about it. So I don't know if you guys noticed with like the hauls and everything, like I try to think about things in a way to where I'm thinking ahead. So like, you know, last month I didn't make as much. The previous month I made a little bit, good chunk of change. So what I did was I took some of that money and put it aside so that, you know, the following month I was good. I didn't have to stress about, you know, the next month or the next month. So like when you own a business and you have your income fluctuates every single month and it's not one set income, you kind of have to think bigger. You have to think long term. You can't think just like right now, right here. You have to think long term and really focus on what's essential for right now and what you can focus on later. And you know what I mean? Like, it's a headache. But that's just like the realistics of owning your own business. That's the realistics of being on YouTube. And a lot of people saying YouTube is not forever. It's not forever. It shouldn't be forever. Social media, same thing with that. It shouldn't be forever. And that's why I said, as long as you know how to monetize your following, you should be fine. It doesn't matter if YouTube goes down today. If you're able to shift your following to another platform, you should be fine. Especially if you have that trust and that bond and that security in what you provide to your audience, it shouldn't be a problem for you. But to some people, it's harder because, you know, they don't know how to work business. So like for me, I don't consider YouTube as my only income, my full-time job. I don't consider it. I just enjoy doing YouTube and I enjoy sharing my life with y'all. I know it sounds weird. I do get a check, but you know, it's not sufficient enough for me to be like, I'm balling. No, it's not like that. But it's something that I love. And when you love something, it doesn't really matter how much you get paid for it. You just love it. And, you know, for me, that's how I feel about YouTube. I actually enjoy it. I don't really necessarily look for that paycheck every month. I mean, it's nice to have, you know what I'm saying? But it's not something that I push for every single month. I don't push out every video all the time. As you guys noticed, I don't upload every single day because, you know, I do have to live a life. I have a life. I do have other responsibilities and I do have other goals that I want to accomplish that's not tied to YouTube. So uploading every single day is not something that is a priority to me. So when I decide to slack off for a week, that's because I have other shit that I feel like is a priority that will bring, that's secured in the income that I'm bringing in, if that makes sense. Like, you know, there's no guarantee that I will get a check every single month with YouTube, but if I already have a client that's that already paid me and they're consistently paying me, I'm going to put YouTube on the back burner and focus on that client. I hope that makes sense. That's the reason why my YouTube channel is not as consistent and why I don't put, you know, as much effort into it, because there's no guaranteed on a paycheck, and it's hard for me to put my all into something that's not guaranteed every month. I don't have 100% support in it. Nana, she supports me 100% in it, and you know, the kids, you know how kids, and I don't expect kids to understand, but you know, it's kind of hard for me to get the content that I want, and it never works out the way I want. So therefore I don't try to depend on anybody else to make this happen for me. So, and the same goes for like my businesses and everything like that. So like, if I don't depend on anybody else to make this happen for me, so when it comes to YouTube, I can't make that their responsibility as well, which is why I changed my channel name, because before it used to be named something else, and before that it was named something else, and before that it was named something else. And that's why I ended up going with Life with Vicki, because at the end of the day, I'm the one that wants to do this, nobody else. Leon, he doesn't mind the camera, it's just that he's not comfortable 100% to be on camera. And not only that, like, he doesn't, it's the comments too. And Nana, she feels the same way too about the comments. So it's like, you know, and I get it, you know, we putting our whole lives out there for people to judge and have an opinion about it, and it doesn't bother me, but at the same time, I do have to respect everybody else's privacy, and I do have to respect everybody else's space and their feelings involved in it. So yeah, that's the reason why I don't upload as often as I should. But yeah, I don't consider YouTube as like my main source of income, and I don't really want to. I don't know. I really don't see this as something that I want to explode in, if that makes sense. Like, I don't see myself growing to be like a million subscribers or even 500,000. Like, I didn't even think to myself that I would even get to 5,000 subscribers. So to even think that far ahead to 10,000 subscribers, 25, you know, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about, you know, what ways I can secure my future and leave a legacy for my kids. So yeah, I hope that kind of made you guys understand a little bit about how this whole welfare shit works, because it's a pain in the ass. But yeah, so I hope this update gives everybody understanding what's going on in this household and what's going on with me. I'm nervous and anxious at the same time. Like, I'm anxious to be done with school, and I'm nervous about the situation with Leon and everything like that. So it's like, it's nerve-wracking, but at the same time it's exciting, because I told myself that for 2019 I was going to embrace the journey and embrace whatever happens, and this is where we're at today. When I think back to a year ago to where we were at, you know, I would have never thought to be where I am today. And so, like, I'm thankful, I'm grateful, and I'm thankful that I'm where I am. And you know, and the way I look at it is, things can only get better from here. So yeah, so give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. I mean, why not? I'm lovable. You know you love me. Just love me. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.